In a small, quiet village by a river, a young girl named Luz arrived with her father, seeking a new life after the loss of her mother. But little did Luz know. This village held a secret, a legend that haunted the night. The villagers spoke of La Llorona, the weeping woman, a ghost cursed to wander the riverbanks. Long ago, in a fit of sorrow and rage, she drowned her children in these very waters. Now, her cries echo in the mist, forever searching for them.
Beware the river at night,
the villagers would say,
for La Llorona might mistake you for her lost child.
Despite the warnings, Luz felt a strange pull toward the river. One night, when the mist was thick, she slipped out of her home, drawn by an eerie silence that hovered over the water. At first, the river seemed peaceful, calm. But then, Luz heard it, a cry carried by the wind. The figure of a woman appeared, shrouded in mist, her long hair flowing like water. La Llorona had come. La Llorona's cries grew louder, more desperate. She stepped into the shore, reaching for Luz with trembling hands. Luz was frozen in terror. But just as La Llorona reached for her, another voice cut through the mist, Luz's mother, calling her name. The warmth of her mother's presence gave Luz the strength to break free from the ghost's grasp. The following day, Luz returned to the river. With flowers in hand, she knelt at the water's edge. She did not fear La Llorona, for she knew now that the spirit was not evil, just lost in her grief, like the river was lost in the mist. And as Luz placed the flowers on the water, a soft whisper in the breeze told her that she was not alone.
La Llorona, one of the most famous legends in Hispanic folklore, tells the chilling tale of a ghostly woman doomed to wander the earth, eternally weeping for her lost children. The name La Llorona translates to the weeping woman, and she is often described as a tragic figure whose despair and guilt turn her into a spectral being feared across generations. The origins of La Llorona date back centuries, with roots in ancient Mexican and Aztec mythology, but the legend has evolved over time, especially through oral traditions in Mexico and other Latin American countries, as well as in the southwestern United States. There are variations to the story, but we will talk about the most common version. La Llorona was once a beautiful young woman named Maria who lived in a small village. Known for her beauty and grace, Maria caught the eye of a wealthy man, and the two fell deeply in love. Maria and the man eventually married and had 2 children together. However, their happiness was short-lived. Over time, the man grew distant, often leaving Maria alone with the children while he pursued other women and a lavish lifestyle. One day, Maria saw her husband with another woman. Overcome with intense rage, jealousy, and heartbreak, Maria acted impulsively in a moment of madness. In her fury, she drowned her 2 children in a river. As soon as she realized what she had done, Maria was overcome with guilt and sorrow. She searched frantically along the riverbank for her children, but they were gone, swept away by the current. Devastated, Maria threw herself into the same river and drowned, hoping to reunite with her children in the afterlife. When she reached the gates of heaven, Maria was denied entry, as her children were not with her. She was condemned to wander the earth for eternity, searching in vain for her lost children, wailing in torment. Thus, she became La Llorona, the ghostly figure dressed in white, whose cries can be heard along rivers and lakesides, crying, "Ay mis hijos! Oh my children!" The legend of La Llorona has become deeply ingrained in the culture, especially in Mexico and the southwestern United States. Many claim to have encountered her, particularly near bodies of water like rivers, lakes, or canals. Descriptions of her vary slightly, but she is almost always seen wearing a long, flowing white dress, her face obscured by a veil, or hidden behind her long, dark hair. Her cries are said to be heart-wrenching and eerie, and hearing them is considered an omen of impending doom. Those who hear her weeping are often warned not to follow the sound, as La Llorona is said to lure unsuspecting people, especially children, to their deaths, pulling them into the water. The tale of La Llorona carries powerful symbolism, often seen as a cautionary tale to warn children to stay away from dangerous areas like rivers or lakes. Her story also reflects themes of maternal grief, guilt, and the consequences of rash actions. La Llorona's weeping also symbolizes the deep sorrow of a mother who has lost her children, a theme that resonates universally. In some interpretations, she represents the spirit of conquest and colonialism. After the Spanish conquest of the Americas, indigenous women were often abandoned by Spanish men, much like Maria was in the legend, and this story can be viewed as a metaphor for the sorrow and suffering caused by colonialism. The legend of La Llorona has been passed down for generations and remains a powerful cultural story. It is told to children as a way of imparting moral lessons or to scare them into behaving, especially to discourage them from wandering near dangerous bodies of water. La Llorona has also become a prominent figure in popular culture, appearing in numerous books, films, and television shows. The legend has even inspired horror films, such as The Curse of La Llorona, 2019, which capitalized on the ghost's eerie story and her haunting presence. While the basic premise of the legend remains consistent, there are variations depending on the region. In some versions, Maria kills her children because of a curse placed upon her, while in others, she does it to seek revenge against her unfaithful husband. Sometimes, La Llorona is depicted as a protective figure, watching over children by rivers. While in other versions, she is more malevolent, seeking to drown others to replace her own lost children. To this day, La Llorona remains a powerful and deeply rooted myth. She continues to be invoked in stories and used to convey the idea of grief, loss, and the dangers of uncontrolled emotions. Whether seen as a warning, a mother in mourning, or a supernatural force, La Llorona endures as one of the most haunting and famous ghost stories of Hispanic folklore.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.